first of all, want to point out, I know the gentleman behind me said, do you realize how, maybe it's the principal, I can't remember already, how fortunate you are to be Americans, how wonderful it is that you get to live in this country. I would add you realize how fortunate you are to attend this school. I am blown away that this is a middle school. The choir, the band, your string instruments, this great auditorium. I hope you pause for a minute today and realize just how fortunate you are to attend this school in this community with these teachers and the staff that are so dedicated to you and your education and your future, because it is remarkable to be here today to hear the anthem sung by the choir with the band, and that's amazing, unbelievable. I am so touched and just so grateful I get to join you today for a few minutes. As everyone has said, Veterans Day is coming up. I'm sure you've heard about it. You've probably heard about it in your history classes. You might be going to some celebrations or parades or things this weekend. And I think as we celebrate Veterans Day, it's important to make sure we understand what a veteran is. So a veteran is anyone who at any time, anywhere, that has served in any branch of America's military. So they might have gone to war, or they might not have needed to. They might have been during a time of peace. They might have been in the Army, or the Navy, or the Air Force, or the Marines, or the Coast Guard. They might have served for a long time or a short time. They might have seen horrible, horrible things in battle. And they might have worked in an office, making sure things are supported so that those in the battlefield know what they're doing and can do it well. My husband, for those of you who don't know, was a proud soldier in the Utah Army National Guard for 15 years. He served 4 deployments, but he also served several different assignments here in Utah, in Japan, in Korea, in order to support the cause of freedom everywhere. We believe, as we say in the Pledge of Allegiance, in liberty and justice for all. We don't say liberty and justice for all who live in America, but we really believe in liberty and justice for all. And that is the goal of the United States military, to help preserve, protect, and share liberty and justice with all. So my husband did see combat, my husband did serve in peacetime, my husband did serve in an office, and my husband did serve on the battlefield. But I'll also tell you of another veteran who was with my husband on November 3rd, 2018. That is exactly 1 year and 5 days ago. That is a Saturday morning when my husband was shot and killed while trying to protect, preserve, and spread liberty and justice for all. But with him that day, at that scene and that incident, at the time of his death, was one other soldier from America. One other American soldier, and guess what? He was also shot that same day in the same incident that took my husband's life. Now I ask you to think for a moment, is the soldier who got shot and lived, but in that moment was willing to die for my freedom and your freedom, and freedom and liberty for all, is that soldier any less of a veteran or any less of a hero because he lived to tell about the incident? Absolutely not. So when we celebrate Veterans Day, thank you, let's not fall off the stage. When we celebrate Veterans Day, it is important that we recognize all men and women at all times, in all locations, in all branches of the military that have served. Because every one of them, every day when they put on their uniform, could take a bullet for you or for me. Fortunately, most of them don't die as they serve us. But every one of them is willing to. And that is why Veterans Day is so important. As the teacher who was up here before said, Veterans Day as a holiday has its roots in World War I. Now those of you in this room, every one of us in this room, in this building, are too young to have lived through World War I. Your grandparents are too young to have lived through World War I. It was 101 years ago, on November 11th, 1918, on the 11th day of the 11th month at the 11th hour, that the world's superpowers involved in World War I decided to sign a treaty. The German troops were running out of men, they were running out of ammunition. Millions of people around the world had died, and it was decided that enough was enough. And so these world leaders met in a train car and signed what we call the armistice, which is a treaty, which is a piece of paper. And you know what the goal of that piece of paper on the 11th month, the 11th day at the 11th hour, do you know what the goal was? It was the war to end all wars. Now, you and I know that no piece of paper signed by anyone, anywhere, can actually end all wars. We are 101 years later in this world, and there have been wars around the world since that day. So the question I would ask for you this morning is it worth it? Is it worth it that hundreds and thousands of men and women have gone into combat and died for you and for me and for our freedom? Is it worth it that we have seen decades of war since 1918 when we thought we had the war to end all wars? Is it worth it that my own husband will never have a video like you just saw where he gets to surprise my children at school as he comes home to give them a hug? Is it worth it? You decide. You get to decide. The way you live your life will decide for you and for me and for America and the world if my husband's death was worth it. We best honor those who have given their lives for us by making something of honor out of the lives they have given to us. Let me say that again. We best honor those who have given their lives for us by making something of honor out of the lives they have given to us. Now listen again. You best honor those who have given their lives for you by making something of honor out of your life. You show gratitude to those who have fought for your freedoms and the pursuit of liberty and justice for all by joining them in that fight. You can best honor America's heroes by living heroically. You can stand up for what is right and for what is good. You can be willing to fight for a cause that is important and valuable, not just to yourself, but to the world. You can pursue that life, liberty, and happiness, again, not just for yourself, but for those all around you. Because the American mission truly is to pursue liberty and justice for all. We often celebrate those who lived through World War II as the greatest generation. And there are several reasons why. At that time, almost everyone in America either served in the war or was related to someone or loved someone or missed someone who served in that war. It affected every American life. It affected what they could buy at the grocery store, the clothes they could wear, the food they could eat, the jobs they had to do. Everyone was touched by that war. And because of that, we became stronger and more united as a nation. And we truly call them the greatest generation. And rightly so. But let me tell you something. Those who are still alive that lived through that greatest generation are now in their 90s or 100 years old. They are not going to be with us much longer. As I said, in that generation, everyone was touched by the price of freedom. In our generation, less than 0.5% currently serves in America's military branches. It's easy to feel disconnected and to take it for granted. It's easy to become part of a me generation and lose sight of the we. And so while we celebrate, and we should celebrate those from World War II as the greatest generation, I stand before you today to tell you that we need you to become America's next greatest generation. America needs you to stand up, to rise up, and raise up everyone around you. It is up to you. America looks to you. The entire world looks to you. And we need you. And so I ask you again, is it worth it? Is it worth it to be part of this country with a rich heritage of freedom and liberty and justice for all, knowing that the blood of thousands and thousands has been shed? Are you living your life in a way that brings honor to those who honored you by fighting and dying for your freedom? The price of freedom is incredibly high to those who have lost a loved one on the battlefield. I know that because I live that every day of my life. I have 7 young children who will not see their father again in this life. I live in a community that is mourning the loss of their mayor. I see his mother weep every day to know that she has given her son for our freedoms. There have been moments when I felt quite sorry for myself. There have been moments when I've stared at the beautiful family picture on my wall and just wondered why he's not here anymore. And is it really worth it? And in a quiet moment, early one morning, as I stared at that family picture, the picture of my husband stared back at me as if to say, "My darling, I love you enough that I gave my life for you. What greater love could I show you?" And so I can stand here today with a broken heart, but still a proud and fierce sense of patriotism and tell you I am proud to be an American. I am proud to be the wife of an American soldier. I am proud to be a Gold Star widow and to tell you that though the price of freedom is immeasurably high to those of us who are weeping over our fallen servicemen, the value of freedom is immeasurably higher, and it is worth it. And there are some things that truly are dying for. And so I ask you today, in this room, in your youth, and for the rest of your life, are you willing to live for that cause? Are you willing to join those who have fought for your freedom and lived heroically by becoming heroes yourself? Are you willing and ready and able and committed to rise up and become the next greatest generation this country and this world has ever known? Because I assure you that now more than ever, we need you. America needs you. My children need you. They need to see you honoring your freedom, making the kinds of choices that raise up those around you so that when they miss their father and that hole in their heart hurts, they can feel reassured that some things really are worth dying for. So I ask once more, is it worth it? It will be up to you. We best honor those who have given their lives for us by making something of honor out of the lives they have given to us. And that is exactly what I intend to do. And that is exactly what America and the world needs every one of you to do. May God bless you to stand up and rise up and raise up the world around you. And may God forever bless these beautiful United States of America. Thank you.